Are you ready?
Sure, I'm always ready.
Welcome to Sports Back Talk with Boly and Ringer. And, geez, you survived your week of vacation.
Yeah.
I texted you today to make sure that you were still alive.
Yeah, it was a good time. My buddies all 6-1 tours and Twin Cities people, and just a great group of guys and lifetime friends, and we'll be there forever, and they'll keep coming up. And a good group of guys. We did good. We didn't do great. Not as good a fishing as the last 2 years they've had, but
that's not the focus, is it? To get good fishing?
It really isn't. You know,
yeah, it is.
I always say
about getting together, right?
When you get together and you do the fishing, what you catch is a bonus. I mean, it's all about memories and having a good time, spending a lot of money in the local establishments, and I think we shared. I think we're at all 4 resorts, which was good. They all like to see the different places and how they're ran, and
sure.
I was pretty proud of knowing all the people on Rainy Lake, because they were all very friendly, and they treated my buddies with a lot of respect, and they had a great time. So
that's awesome. I thought about you. I'll admit, I thought about you more than once last week about how much fun you were
Tell your
having.
wife about this?
While I was at work.
Yeah.
You were out running around on the lake, having stops at establishments. I was envious.
We're responsible. I mean, I don't know if you saw my 26-inch walleye.
I did not see a picture of it.
But I got a 26-inch walleye and on a reef at the Green Marker that's north of Dryweed. It's near the Canadian border. You guys all know it. I caught a 26-inch there, and then about 5 minutes later, I caught a nice 23.5-inch.
And you thought you were set for the day.
Well, I thought I was somebody, and we probably caught about 10 slot fish, which is pretty good. Got plenty of fish to eat, and everybody brought fish home, and it was a good time. We had a really good time, and I'm blessed.
That's good. That's good. Did you get to watch any football or anything while you were out and about over the week?
We always go over to, won't mention the place, but we always go over to the local establishment, and Jeff takes good care of us, and he had the game on, and we had a good time. We stayed right till the end, and
surprised?
A lot of people were happy.
Yeah?
I lost a $10 bet because I gave my buddy Timmy 9 points in the Chiefs, and of course the Chiefs won the game outright, so...
were you surprised?
Yeah, very surprised. Boy, New England has some issues.
That's where I kind of wanted to go. Both of us are on here talking about what a great coach Belichick is.
Yeah, he is.
Is it going to take more than 1 or 2 weeks for him to get this ship righted and put in the right direction? I mean, you said they've got some issues. Is it that they need to go find some more personnel? Because I'm sure he can go do that. Mm-hmm. Or do you think it's things that they can fix?
It's the system. The system was broke. If you remember watching the game after the first quarter, the Patriots should have been up 17-0. They weren't. They had a couple turnovers. They didn't turn them into touchdowns. They had to kick field goals. Gronkowski caught that one. They said he was bobbling and it didn't count. I think the game was definitely being controlled by the Patriots early on. And as soon as the Chiefs realized they could play with them, the game changed, and that's exactly what happened.
Okay, so I'm going. You talked about Gronkowski's bobble.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
I disagreed with the call.
Okay. Did you watch any football yesterday?
Yeah. I mean.
Well, I'm going to talk about one.
I was exhausted. Okay. I did one of my leisurely days at home, and my wife was very.
Understanding?
Yeah, she's pretty awesome. She's very understanding, and we had the grandkids over, and I tried to get my grandson, Maverick, two years old, to watch football, and he just wouldn't do it. And Layla had no interest at all, my granddaughter, but hopefully someday.
Yeah, I'll talk about one play in particular that really frustrated me because I did not get to watch much of the Patriots game on Thursday night. I was up to something else, and I didn't get to see till into the second half. But I was watching the first afternoon games yesterday, and they brought on the Philadelphia-Washington game.
Sure.
Did you see the fumble call? The hand not going forward?
Yeah.
At that point, I watched the Gopher game on Saturday night. I thought there were two. Well, Mike Pereira, is that right, from Fox?
Yeah.
He got the first 2 challenges that were there, he got them both wrong. He doesn't hardly ever get wrong. Then you watch the game from yesterday with Washington and Philly, and I think he got that one wrong as well. I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm saying, if his arm is not going forward, my eyes don't work anymore. I've got issues. I've got an issue with instant replay. We've talked about instant replay with baseball, with all the sports. To me, it's getting worse, and I'd almost rather that they just completely went away from it, because if you're going to use replay, then you got to get it right. You can't have somebody back in New York, and this is my issue. You've got somebody back in New York who's looking at the two teams saying, we got Philadelphia and Washington, and here's my thought on this, and you can tell me if you think I'm full of whatever. The Washington Redskins won't change their name from Redskins.
Oh, I see where you're going.
So who's the call going to go against? Who does the NFL want to see win this game? Well, Daniel Snyder won't change the name, even though that's what the NFL wants. So there's a very controversial call here that's going to turn this game one way or the other. Let's make sure that it goes towards Philadelphia. And I don't know. I don't get it in this. Like I said, the Gronkowski thing, which I saw afterwards, and after what I watched with the Gopher game on Saturday night, I watched a lot of football this weekend, and I'm frankly, I want to see the instant replay go away. I'm done with it. It just they won't make the right calls, because now they've got somebody back in what's his face, probably Goodell is probably sitting in the background saying, "Here's the call you're supposed to be making."
Sure.
But
conspiracy theorists, aren't we?
That's what we do here, right?
I mean, I never took it to the length that you did, but they did get the call wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, being the all-try Metro quarterback of 1978,
That's right.
I know when a quarterback's arm's going forward. Kirk Cousins was definitely going forward on that pass. He was baffled.
I think the Philadelphia team was totally surprised. They couldn't even believe when they announced it.
But the only thing that I can look at, and I understand the ruling, is it needs to be 100% guaranteed for them to turn it over, right?
Yeah,
for them to change it. So all it takes is one of the maybe 10 analysts that are sitting in New York, sipping coffee all day and eating popcorn.
And they got the yes or no button?
Yeah, they probably got 9 yeses and 1 no, and the 1 no means we don't got 100%. The system is broke. I don't know whether it would have determined the game or not. Cousins didn't look good yesterday anyways, but I just look at the whole situation and say, how can you miss that?
Yep. Yeah.
And in the Green Bay-Seattle game, I mean, if you're a real Viking fan and you really think Aaron Rodgers gets the benefit of every call, I mean, I was reading on Twitter, Aaron Rodgers is laughing. Okay, at some of the calls that are being made. I mean, that clipping call that went back for a defensive touchdown. Why would the ref call that?
It's got to be.
Why? Because he's 68 years old and he's way behind the play. He can't keep up. They don't have full-time referees.
And you're going to protect the quarterback, right?
Why? He's playing football.
$24 million.
He's playing football. Plus, the play was, he's not a quarterback anymore.
Correct. That's a great point. And then to throw the guy out for throwing a phantom punch. I like I said, it just.
Why did they throw out Des Bryant and Sonoris Jenkins last night? All the stuff they were doing last night was more more rough than what the kid from Seattle did.
So let me ask you this question.
I am getting wound up now. You came here with a mission.
I came here with a mission. You better believe I did. I don't know if you do. Do you watch the CFL?
Refuse to.
Okay, he refuses to. In the CFL, you can throw a flag for a review on a penalty. So, like pass interference, you say that there was no flag thrown, you can have the referees go back and look. Boy. It's a little whatever. But I'm going on to this play where the guy got thrown out for throwing the punch. Well, shouldn't they be able to go back and look at the tape and go, no, he's not thrown out. This was the wrong call. He threw no punch. He did nothing wrong. It was a football play. They should be able to do that, and they're saying they can't. And to me, the CFL games maybe take a bit longer because there's a few more reviews, but a lot of times they get those calls correct on penalties, holdings, all that other stuff, face masks, those kinds of things. To me, we've got the technology. We've got 47 cameras at every game. Yeah. We should be able to get it right. It makes me not want to watch the NFL. And I hate to say that because I'm a football person, but good grief, when I'm ready to turn the channel because of what I'm watching, it just makes me angry.
You know, I wouldn't want them to review all penalty call. I think that would be ridiculous. However, if a player is being kicked out of a game, that to me should be reviewable. I mean, coach of the other team can say, "Hey, listen, that was a little borderline." But it's all judgment. I mean, pass interference. Jenkins, could he have gotten maybe 2 more pass interference calls? Probably. Sure. Yeah. But you got to let him play football too. I mean, the days of letting the receiver just do whatever he wants. I mean, they want the offense, but I also like a little bit of contact.
I have to admit, I was watching. Like I said, I watched a lot of football, and I saw a lot of this defensive backs and the receivers both put hand checking, hands on, whatever. Yeah. And it looked like to me like they were letting them play a little bit more. Would you, from what you watched this weekend, would you agree?
Yep. And some refs will say that right from the beginning. We'll let you do this, but you go do that, we're calling it. So as long as the players all get the consistency throughout the game, I have no problem with how they call the game. But I think overall, the reffing in the NFL is way down. And you're going to see some more bad calls tonight, I guarantee it, when the Vikings, New Orleans, and then the Chargers, Broncos play tonight.
The L.A. Chargers, let that roll out.
I can't get used to that. As long as they still wear them powder blues once in a while, I guess I won't have an issue with it. But, you got Bambi, the old Lance Allworth, and Charlie Joyner, and back in those, John Jefferson. God, I used to love the Chargers. But let's get to this book here I found.
What? Bob Dylan
lyrics.
Are you going to start singing?
No, I just look at how thick this.
So I can understand.
Look at how thick this thing is. Bob Dylan lyrics.
And that's only from 62 to 85. It says on there.
But I think you need to have a different mind to be able to read his lyrics. Okay, his lyrics are. I mean, it's amazing.
That's why you got a Nobel Prize, didn't you?
Well, it's amazing, but I mean, it is weird. You read the first chapter of this book. Okay, and you'll probably say, Bob, you should probably go back to Hibbing High School
and get a little. Look at all those beautiful paintings on the wall. Get some education while you're there.
Remember we talked last week or 2 weeks ago about how you can listen to a voice back in the day, and all you had to hear is hear him sing 2 notes, and you knew who it was. Bob Dylan was definitely one of those guys.
Bob Dylan was one of those guys.
Would this be an oxymoron saying Bob Dylan lyrics book and it's this thick? Anyways, as Jerry Franzen used to say on the Big K, I digress. And, we move on, but
well, we're going to stay with the NFL. We're going to talk about the Vikings, and you were, before we went on the air, you were already bad mouthing them. What? I'm just like,
I do that.
You do that?
Yeah, I've been a Vikings fan since sitting in the front room of my dad's place. With my brother and my dad and Gerald, and of course back then, secondhand smoke wasn't considered a big issue. My dad would sit there and chain smoke cigarettes for the whole game, and me and Gerald would watch every game, and they won. They'd always go 10-2 because they had 12-game seasons back then. And, always 10-2 or 9-3, and always winning the NFC. And so I grew up a Vikings fan, and I watched them lose 4 Super Bowls, and also lose NFC Championship games. The 41 donut won to the Giants. Of course, the Saints won. The Saints won where they. The refs, getting back to the refs, blew numerous calls and did not want the Vikings to go to the Super Bowl for some reason. And
because of Brett Favre,
it's really hard for me to get excited about Vikings football because
why? Because
I look at it this way: when I get buried in my grave someday, I'd like to have 6 Vikings as my pallbearers. Because then I could be let down by the Vikings one more time. I heard that one from a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Nice.
I thought it was a great line. But they're tough to watch, and I'll give you my prediction. I don't know if you overheard me. We were talking should we get to our predictions now, or should we talk a little bit?
Well, I know that it's not good, your prediction. Why? What's your main...
Well, should we do the predictions now and then we'll get to the whys? I mean,
are we going to go just this game or for the season? What we're thinking?
Well, we'll just talk about tonight's game.
Okay.
Okay, what do you say? What's going to happen?
I think it's going to be close. I won't be surprised if they win. I won't be surprised if they lose. I'm going to go like 21-17.
You're going Billy Bright on me here. Answer the question. Are they winning or losing? What do you mean? You won't be surprised if they. Did you hear what you said? I won't be surprised if they win. I won't be surprised if they lose. Yeah. Boy, you're really taking a side.
Well,
I mean, seriously, Ringer? I mean, take a team, pick the score, move on.
All right, Vikings
you're not getting tested on this.
Vikings 21, Saints 17.
Okay.
Because they're at home.
Okay.
I do think the defense will play inspired football tonight because of the Adrian Peterson aspect, and it's going to be an interesting season to see where this all lies, where this team is at offensively because of the offensive line. I think the defense is there in pieces. It'll have some good games and some bad games, but the offensive line, if it comes together and give Sam Bradford, your boy, some time to throw the ball, I think things will be okay. But if the offensive line has issues, and I think that's the biggest thing that this team has going against it, if they can't get that together, it'll be a lot like last season where Bradford was going 4 yards, 5 yards, because realistically, he's running for his life. Somebody's in his face. He's got to get rid of the ball. They couldn't protect him for more than a second and a half last year.
Yeah, true. And it's not going to be Cameron Jordan coming in, Saints' big defensive end. Here's some other nugget everybody should know about it, even though it won't be played till Wednesday. But the Saints blitzing more than almost every team in the NFL.
Okay.
So that's why my prediction of 31-10 Saints. I just don't think that offensive line can hold up, and there's going to maybe be at least one defensive touchdown by the Saints tonight. I just don't see the Vikings. I think there's lots of issues. I think there's lots of issues left over from last year when some of the players turned their back on the coaching staff and started doing their own thing. And unless that's been resolved, I don't see this team going very far.
You make a very good point. I agree. It's something that you would hope with a year. What about the Alex Boone thing? We talked about this a week or two ago.
You nailed that.
We talked about the fact that maybe him being gone, maybe that is a good thing. It seemed, I think the first offense did not score a touchdown in the preseason. He was in for most of those plays. It seemed like when he came off the field, the pass protection all of a sudden became better. Not because maybe it was against first-team guys, maybe it was against second-team guys. It's tough always to tell that kind of stuff, but it seems to me that there was either a chemistry issue there, and like I said, maybe this comes back to the coaches and the players all being on the same page. I don't know. It's you were right. He was going to get picked up. He got picked up, I believe, by Arizona, right? Yep. Is that who it was? So, yeah.
But how can Spielman miss by that much on an offensive guard? I mean, an offensive guard's basically a stabilizer. I mean, it's not a. I hate to tell you this, even though I know you're an offensive line guy, that your offensive guard is not your mainstay. It's your center and your two tackles, if I'm not mistaken. So how can he miss that bad?
Do you think, I'll ask, do you think San Francisco got rid of him for
personality,
maybe that's personality reason. Maybe it was the same issue here. You think, I always go back to the Randy Moss thing. I guess he's the number one person in my mind. What kind of player, what kind of character do you want to have on your team? Randy Moss can sit here and tell me it's all about what you do on the field. I think I saw a tweet or something about telling Ezekiel, just worry about what you do on the field. Yeah. Everything else will take care of itself. Well, it's those kinds of things. And I still go back to the whole warm-up with him and Culpepper before the game. I watched in 04. Everybody else is out doing all the calisthenics and everything, and him and Culpepper are off on the side playing catch. Well, to me, you can't win that way consistently. Yeah, you might get away if you got superior talent when you're playing for the Patriots or somebody, but you can't win that way when you've got marginal talent, and not everybody is the New England Patriots every season.
Now, let me get this straight.
Yep.
You just mentioned the fact that Randy Moss was telling Ezekiel this stuff?
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's taking advice from Michael Irvin too, probably then too.
I would guess so.
So Ezekiel's getting all his moral support. No pun intended, morals. But from Randy Moss and Michael Irvin. I mean, no wonder the kid's in trouble. Okay? I mean, that'd be like...
But he ran for 104 yards last night.
Oh, no, he's fine. He's a great football player. But, as far as the issues and, the NFL still ruled that 6 games was a fair decision. And he's definitely getting off based on the NFL Players Association. And right now, everything's in an appeal process. But
it's going to be Tom Brady all over again.
I just get a kick out of, Randy Moss. And don't get me wrong, I think Randy's straightened his life out. And he's a... But that's kind of goofy when Randy Moss is giving
the advice,
giving advice on how to act off the football field. That's kind of funny.
You want to move off the NFL?
No.
What else do you want to talk about? How'd your fantasy team do this?
That's where I wanted to go.
Where you wanted to go? Yeah.
I'm a little upset.
What? You're a little upset at whom?
Well, I had the first pick overall, right?
Yeah.
Who do I take?
You took
David Johnson.
David Johnson, yes.
Okay, gets injured yesterday tackling a player that got his ball after he fumbled it. Okay, first, not a big deal. Second, might be a sprained wrist. X-rays were negative.
Okay.
About an hour ago, dislocated wrist.
Ooh. Done for what? 8 weeks?
8 to 10. Probably going to be IR'd. First pick of the draft gone. Also had Allen Robinson I picked in the 5th round. First play of the game, caught a pass, tackled, ACL, done. So my first overall pick gone. Allen Robinson, 5th round pick gone. Danny Amendola, who I picked really late, nice little flyer on him, had 6 receptions, 100 yards in the first half the other night. Head injury, concussion, gone. Okay, so you asked me.
So you're the jinx for these players,
well,
is what you're trying
I'm just
to tell
a
me.
fantasy football nightmare, is what I am. And then the heckling I'm going to receive, and it's just, it's going to be tough on me. And a good thing I got a good support group at home, and Diana.
So you got a chance to still win this week, though?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Delvin Cook, who I know, there's another thing, is I got a couple partners that are my nephews. Never get your nephews on the team, especially when they're under 30 years old.
Because they don't know squat.
No, what they do is, like my brother says, they sit up in the bleachers and they give you opinions and information after the games are played. Okay, so I'm picking the lineups, and I'm the one that's in charge of putting the lineups in. I put out at 10 o'clock in the morning, thoughts on this guy. I'm trying to decide between Delvin Cook, Marshawn Lynch, and David Johnson. Of course, our league, you can only play a guy 11 times during the year, so there's a little more strategy into when to play guys. Not one answer.
And then you pick.
Except my brother called me, and my brother talked to me, and he consoled and basically said, Mike, I think this is good, this looks good, and at least he's called and gave me some information. Whether I agreed with him or not, at least we could talk about it.
Sure.
And then wide receivers. I ended up playing Corey Coleman, who ended up scoring a touchdown, and
who does Corey Coleman play for? Because Tim has no idea.
Cleveland.
Okay.
He played well. He got targeted about 8 times, which you always look at targets. Targets sometimes are more important than receptions, because the targets mean the quarterback is thrown at you.
Sure.
And we got Demaryius Thomas going tonight. I'm going to need some points out of him. But again, nothing from my nephews, except one nephew replies, Allen Robinson out for the year, ha ha. Where's the humor in that? Ha ha. Why doesn't he just LOL or whatever they say? And then my other nephew, we got Corey Coop. He's a rookie out of Eastern Washington. He plays for the Rams.
Okay.
He scored a touchdown, and with that nephew, he was really pushing for me to draft him, and we did.
Okay.
I liked him. Nice player, but he's a rookie. He kind of got a wait-and-see attitude. And his reply was back, this is again, this morning, after all the games were played, we should have played Corey Coop. Okay? Well, Adam, my dear nephew, maybe
a little before 11
have a little
o'clock.
gumption and say that before the games are played.
There you go.
Okay? So that's my advice. If you're on a team and you have partners on it, and if you don't talk about who to play at all, then I don't want to hear about your Monday morning quarterbacking, all right? I want to hear information before the game. Okay.
Then you can act all cocky, right?
Yeah. So so we got Delvin Cook going tonight. That's my other nephew Nick's favorite player. He kind of forced me to take him at 28, which I thought was very good value.
Sure.
Delvin Cook at 28. And then the other one playing tonight, Demarius Thomas, that was kind of one of my babies. So we'll see. But Delvin Cook better, we probably need about 10 to 12 tonight.
10 to 12 points?
Between the two of them.
Oh, well,
so
that's doable because now I got to ask, rushing 10 or 25 for a point?
1 point for every 10 yards.
Oh.
So I figure between them, Demarius Thomas should easily get 60 to 70 yards, and Delvin Cook around the same, so that's 14. Maybe one will get a touchdown and make it easier on us. But
there you go.
We shall see. But anyways, bad start for Team Marino in the IFFL. My other league, I had Kareem Hunt. I had Jesse James.
Oh, nice.
I had Jesse James, with a tight end out of Pittsburgh. So we easily won in that league. So enough on fantasy football, but I'm devastated.
Your IFFF team is in trouble.
It's in trouble, but we got Marshawn Lynch.
You're going to be have a big meeting this week. You'll be trading like crazy.
Well, we got a waiver wire pickup, and we're probably going to put in a $200 bid to get whoever I think is going to be starting in Arizona. But let me get back to that.
Okay.
Can I talk about this?
Sure. It's your show.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want, man.
I want my own show. Here's why. Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know Adam.
Big talker, gets on
He's on the phone.
Yeah.
That guy.
Ian Rappaport.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my favorite, he's probably the biggest phony out of the three, is this Mike Florio, who talks to PA all the time on KFan. But all three of them, of course, all had different opinions on what was wrong with David Johnson. One said, won't miss any time. The other one said, probably missed 2 games, has a sprain. The other one said, I figure he'll be out 68 weeks. So they're all throwing, what do you got?
Yeah.
Mud at the wall. Hopefully it sticks.
That's right.
So all three were wrong. Okay, these guys are supposed to be, at least when Michael Russo, at least when a hockey analyst discusses hockey, he actually gets information from the coaches and general managers.
Sure.
These spoofs like Schefter and Rappaport, and they don't get any information.
So they're on the phone talking to nobody.
NFL owners, managers, team players, coaches won't tell them anything, and they won't. Okay, so they get on there like I could if I get some sponsorships to give me my own show. And I could get on there just like these guys, okay, call up Arizona Customer Relations Department and say, hey, what's the deal on David Johnson? Oh, we don't know yet. He is in surgery. Okay, I'm going to say it's 2 weeks. Sound good. Hang up. So they just get on there and make a spoof and make a big report. And and I've talked to my brother-in-law, Terry, and I've told him if he would vest in a site for me, and he said he might.
There you go.
Terry, I know you watch my show. I think we should get this going because after today, I've come to conclude Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, Mike Florio, I don't know where you get your information from because...
Michael is done with you.
I'm done. None of it's true. You guys can't give out factual information. Michael Russo, on the other hand, you go to a sports beat writer in hockey, they have relationships with the owners and managers, and they'll give them as much as they can. They won't tell where a guy's injured.
Right.
Like
that lower body
and upper body. Yeah. But they will get the information, and they will report it. They won't report anything unless it's out there. And that's also the difference.
Sure.
Okay. NFL guys will just start making stuff up and throwing out their own doctors.
Do you realize that when we tape next week's show,
yeah,
the Wild will be playing next week? I mean, exhibition will be playing next week.
Yeah.
Look out the window here from Looney's here. How can we be thinking about hockey on a day like today?
I wish I could see it, but there's so many people in the way. I can't even see out the door. This place is packed tonight. But yeah, it is amazing. It's supposed to be like this all week. 80s. I think I'll take the pontoon out tonight.
Nice.
Me and my lovely wife Diana, and
you're gonna put ESPN on your phone so you can
Twins,
the Vikes.
Oh no, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
I'm sorry. Did I say tonight?
Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
Okay.
So
right now I'm still a little seasick. I spent a week on the water last week, and I'm still a little shaky. I'm in detox. Also, I had to take care of that issue, but it was a fun week. But anyways, Boy, we made a show that I didn't think wasn't going anywhere today into a controversial mess.
Did you get a chance to watch the Gophers at all on Saturday night? Late. They were on. They didn't start till 9 o'clock our time. I was struggling.
No, but I had my brother, he's one of these guys who jumps on ships. Now he's rowing a boat, and of course my buddy Timmy, he's got season tickets to go for games, so he was there, and he was in the room next to me. So I went to bed about 11 o'clock, and so I could get updates just by hearing him cheering. But Gophers, I did not see any of it. We didn't have a TV where we were at, so we were basically on the Twitter world.
It is amazing to me. You're playing Buffalo over here.
Yeah.
And you're playing Oregon State. Now, I'm not saying Oregon State's any good, but they do play in the Pac-12, so they should have some talent. And from last week when they looked just god-awful against Buffalo to this week where, I'm not saying they look like world beaters, but they did some good things. They ran the ball pretty effectively, even though there were some plays that were tough. I have some hope, and they beat them in the second half on the road 28-0. That to me is a big sign right there that maybe, I'm not saying they're going to go, I'd be happy at 6-6 with the talent that they've got on this team, with this big hole in this class, that with everybody they lost from last year. This team can get themselves to 6-6 and quote unquote, and I know how you hate it, go play themselves in a bowl game somewhere. I guess I'm going to call it a victory. Last year was 9-4. To get this team to 6-6, I'd love to see it.
That's what you want, Rigger. Is you do want to get to 6-6, so you can play in that bowl game, because the team is going to get better. Kind of like Rick Pitino last year. He wanted that team to get in the NCAA tournament to get a taste of it. Yeah. Because he's got a nice group. I know they lost one of their big guns, which is going to hurt him. But he was basically a sixth man guy coming off the bench. Big sixth man. He would have been very. But they got another guy who's coming back this year who didn't play last year. I can't remember his name. So they definitely got a replacement for him. But I think their big recruiting class is coming up next year, where they're going to have three guns coming in. They'll have Isaiah Washington with another year of experience under his belt, and hopefully Coffey will stay another year. Yep. Well, he should. Why would he jump to the pros? So this team's about 2 years away, and it's all because they got experience last year in the NCAA tournament. I think that's what Roll the Boat guy's trying to do, is just try to get him in a bowl game this year.
And we're not just saying that for Lloyd, right? We're not just saying.
I am kind of.
I think the football team's going to do 7-5.
7-5, Lloyd says.
And then it'll be 7-0 and then lose the last 5.
Ooh, wow. You think they're going to beat Purdue?
Yeah.
Okay, in Indiana? Don't know if they even play them. I'm just trying to pretend I know. Okay, they don't have. I think they don't. They have Wisconsin, but I think they miss.
They play. Michigan State probably the first 7 is a tough one.
Okay, Michigan State's down.
But they got Michigan, Nebraska, Iowa, Northwestern, and
Wisconsin. And they don't have Ohio State. They play Maryland. You know why I know that?
Yeah, that's our first Big Ten.
September 30th, and you want it? I'll go there again. Do you want to know why I know that?
Because you're going to be there?
I'm going to be there.
There you go.
I'll be rowing.
You're going to be rolling the boat?
Yeah, Maryland's good. Maryland beat Texas last week.
Yeah.
So that's a big win. Texas was ranked 23. All the Big Ten teams seem to be getting better, which is good, except for Ohio State got beat by
And they just did not look.
No.
They just did not look good. They didn't look like a number 2 team in the nation, and everybody was harping. I mean, you're playing at home. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they just did not look
still,
good.
they run the table. They can still find themselves in a Final Four.
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
We shall see. They always play Michigan. That comes down. Penn State looks like the real deal, so Big Ten football is definitely up.
Yeah, 4 teams in the Big Ten, or 4 teams in the top 10, out of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So that's...
Alabama, I don't know. I mean, they look unbeatable. Clemson's right there, though, too. And again, I don't watch a lot of college football. I
guess
I don't know these people.
Clemson, I think, is all right. Alabama or Auburn, who they beat 14-6. You just expect that they were going to be able to do a little more offensively, but again, they lose Deshaun Watson and then blah blah blah, and so you got to come back up and lose the receivers.
Yep.
So you got to reload and get everything going. So too much maybe to read in on week 2, but maybe mid-October we'll have a better feel of where things may or may not be.
And we could get to see Deshaun Watson Thursday night when Houston and Cincinnati play on Thursday Night Football.
I see he threw a touchdown pass yesterday.
Yeah, he came in. Savage didn't do well, so they benched him. And
did I see Jacksonville had 10 sacks? Is that did I see that stat right?
NFL record. Calais Campbell had 4 of them, which is another not an NFL record, a team record for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that game was a little surprising.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's defense looked good, and good for them.
Maybe drafting in the top 5 for the last 8 years is finally going to pay off.
They picked all defensive guys. They got Fowler, and their defense is good, and it's got to be. And Bortles looks bad again. Losing Robinson, maybe that was maybe a good thing for me, because he's a top 10 receiver talent-wise, but if the quarterback can't get it to you, like T.Y. Hilton's going to find out. Because until Andrew Luck gets back, they have no quarterback.
Yeah.
And Luck could be out for half a year. Did you hear that?
I did not hear that, no.
Hearing reports today, of course, from Ian Rappaport, so it must be
forget
true.
About it then.
Yeah, I'm not even going to listen to it.
You want to talk about the Twins?
Yeah, we had a good series, split with KC and KC, 2 games apiece. Probably should have won Game 3 Saturday night. We were watching that at an establishment, and we were enjoying that. And Kansas City scored some late runs and took Game 3 and 4. But still, good week. There's still a game up on the Angels, and Cleveland did their job against Baltimore, which helped. And 18 games.
18 in a row for the Cleveland Indians as of last night.
We still got 3 left with them.
In about 10 years, they're going to make a movie about this, right?
No.
Well, when Oakland won,
do you think they said that about Billie Jean King when she played Bobby Riggs, that they would be making a movie about?
No,
her?
probably not.
No.
But when Oakland won 20 in a row in 2002 was it? They made Moneyball off of it, and of course, where did the guy come from? He came from Cleveland, the guy who made Billy Bean switch over and go to all the sabermetrics. So in 10 years, we'll be watching some movie on the Cleveland Indians, and we'll be reliving this whole thing.
No, because what's his name? Who's the actor that played Billy Bean?
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, he doesn't like Cleveland. So they won't do it.
So the Twins are playing Toronto on the weekend. They've got
San Diego
for 2, and then they get
strange.
And then they get Toronto, and then they do get the Yankees next week.
Cleveland,
and then Cleveland in the last week of the season.
Detroit, a couple series.
They got 7 games with Detroit over the last couple of weeks. They hopefully, if they can keep things going.
They probably take 5 or 7 against Detroit. I figure probably win at least 1 against Cleveland. Cleveland's gonna be basically playing bench players, I think, at that time of the year.
I know they were talking yesterday about it because they brought the schedule up during the end of the Twins game, and they were talking about will Cleveland still be playing for a number 1 seed because they're tied with the Astros right now, which
I never
your
thought
team,
of that.
don't forget about your team.
Yeah.
They are tied actually for the best record in the American League right now. The Astros and Cleveland, of course, after winning 18 in a row, that's not a surprise. But
surprising they're not leading on the 18-game winning streak.
That tells you how good the Astros were playing all summer. And I don't want to go back to April when he said that Houston was his team, but he did say that way back when.
Well, you just go back to the April telecast.
Right on YouTube.
Go right on YouTube and
go find that. He did say it. You don't have to go look it up. I'll vouch for him.
Okay, that's nice.
And so anyway.
Twins, that's good, and they probably got to win both against San Diego and probably at least 2 or 4 against Toronto. Toronto can cause problems. I personally would keep Bartolo, Colon, done. Don't put him out there anymore.
The magic is wore off.
Yeah,
the other teams have figured out what he's doing.
Yeah, that 86-mile-an-hour fastball inside to power hitters is not going to go over real well against Toronto. They got some Donaldson, and they got some boppers there that'll take you deep. But Cologne should be done. I see Mahia's coming back. He will pitch either, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay.
Or no, they already got the Santana and Gibson going Tuesday and Wednesday. So it'll be Thursday or Friday that Mahia will be back. He pitched 5 innings of scoreless ball for the Double-A team in Chattanooga, I believe. So that's good. I like him as a pitcher, good lefty, and keep throwing Gibson out there. Barrios, there's rumors they kind of want to watch his innings. He's at 170 right now, so they're saying they kind of want to watch that. But Molitor said we're too involved in a pennant race to worry about an arm. So Not saying they aren't worried about his arm.
I know what you're saying.
I don't want to put words in Paul Molitor's mouth.
You know, the scary part about the Twins organization, I don't know if anybody's been following, but every one of their minor league teams made the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a good
And
sign.
so when Molitor was asked, well, are you going to keep certain players down on the farm to help them win their playoff series? Or are you going to? Absolutely not. We're bringing them up.
Well, we did say that.
We're not worried about the minor league playoffs.
But they didn't bring any of them up.
Well, I think they brought.
We got 6 shortstops that are top 100 prospects in all of baseball.
And you want to take Escobar or whoever out of the lineup?
Who's our shortstop? You know, you can't take Polanco. He's our shortstop of the
take
future.
Polanco.
But you got the Gordon kid, and you got Levi Michael. I don't know what happened to him. He was supposed to be the next coming shortstop. I think he's like number 5 or 6. But they got this stud from the Dominican Republic who can hit and field. And so Polanco, unless they move Dozier or something and move Polanco over to his natural position, which is second base. The Gordon kids might take him a while, but I think the Twins are still pretty good. They got an outfield that's going to be the best in baseball in the next 2 years, and
let's hope. I agree. I think they got some good stuff.
Buxton's really starting. Boy, did you see him hit that home run?
I did not see the home run.
I thought it was going out of the stadium. It was like me and my brother were talking. He hits home runs like Bernansky used to. Bernansky used to hit towering. Bernansky should be in the Twins Hall of Fame well before Michael Kadire, by the way.
God, how did you come back to that?
Bernansky used to hit the high heart. Gaetti used to hit line drive home runs, okay? And Herbeck used to hit mammoth. And then Gerald looks at me, so what about Kirby Puckett? And Gerald said, clutch home runs.
Clutch.
So
good analysis, Joe.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Anywhere else we're going, or are we going to just make some more stuff up? Or
high school season, volleyball team 6-2 after their first 8 games. They've got a big one tonight. They played Ely over the weekend at a tournament, and they got Ely tonight on a Monday night when we're taping this. So they've got a very good start to the season. They've got a lot of talent there. Hopefully they can make a run, and the Bronco football team got close, had their chance. Just one of those games where statistics don't always show. They outrushed Aiken. They outpassed Aiken. Obviously, that means total yards. They outdid it. But a blocked punt and a couple of tough penalties did them in crucial situations in the second half. And Aiken got just enough to get things done. It was unfortunate. I thought the Broncos held Aiken to 19 total yards in the first half.
Wow.
19 yards in the first half. Tough.
They adjusted.
They adjusted. Aiken ended up with 115 yards of offense for the game, and you lose. That's tough. That's a tough loss. So, congratulations to the Bronco boys cross country team. They went out to Roseau last week and took first place. They're in War Road tonight, and the girls swimming diving team, of course, taking part. They'll be in Chisholm on Tuesday. And, Little Fork Big Falls, they got their teams going on as well. The volleyball team had them on my show on Saturday, and they're looking forward to bigger and better things towards the season rolls on. And I know the Vikings football team had some injuries on Friday night. I hope those 2 guys are well. I know one got sent to Duluth. I hope everything is well there. I know they are battling the numbers game right now. They had 16 kids out at the start of the season. A couple kids that can't play because of not because of ineligibilities, because of other rules. So they had 11 players on the field at the end of the game on Friday night, and in 9-man football, that makes it pretty tight. So my best to the Vikings football team. Hopefully they'll get healthy and be able to continue the season, because they are on the verge of having to say we may have to shut this down. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. We're highly involved and deep into the high school season, because we're already week 4, and it sounds like they're on the road for a while.
Yeah, the Broncos will not be home until the first Friday in October. They got 2 games in a row on the road, and then they got a bye week because they started a week early. So 4 weeks off before the Broncos return home, when they'll play 2 Harbors. And shocker on Friday night there, them getting shut out by Esco. I didn't see that coming.
No, and I'll be at that game. I will show up and go down to my little, right behind the goalpost at the east end of the stadium, and stand there. And I like to listen to the kids, see who's got the eyes to play and who doesn't. I watch the players as they get ready to play, and most of those kids are pretty much ready. But you can see some deer in headline kids too, but which is understandable. They're high school kids, so it's always fun. Always want to support your local high school. And speaking of which, can I close on this?
Yeah.
Michael Peterson, dear friend, mentor, coach, passed away this last week and a half ago, and I just want to remind people that MrPeteFoundation.org. It's a great thing. Michael Peterson, it's basically a scholarship or a grant program they put together to help out our local school districts to fund special things for the teachers, and they've done a lot of things already. But Michael Peterson was a great friend and a great coach and a great person. He was a wonderful father, husband, and to me, honestly, he is kind of in the Hall of Fame. I'd like to see some consideration by our Hall of Fame committee. Michael was duly responsible for putting 14 kids through to Division I scholarship. 3 of them played in the NHL. This is as a youth coach. All of us that played for him give him all the kudos in the world. We had great high school coaches and Pops, and of course Terry Burns, my all-time favorite high school coach. But Michael Peterson was a great man. And this year, October 14th, 2017, the Mr. Pete Foundation, its 4th annual banquet. I hope more people get out to it. It's well worth it, and it goes to a great cause. So just wanted to mention that.
Appreciate it, Michael. Well said.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Don't take us too serious.
Hold on a second. Maybe this book.
We got another
Maybe
book.
that one's more your style of Dylan.
Wait.
What is
Hold
it?
on. Don't cut us off yet.
What is it? The Janis Joplin lyrics of? What is it? Well, Bob
the Drawn
Dylan's.
Blank series.
I mean, look at that. That one's thick too. All on Bob Dylan. A lot of pictures in this one, though.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. By the way, we forgot
What did we?
Q&A.
Q&A. That's what I
always
thought
have
he was
Q&A.
yelling for.
You know?
Oh, what do you got for us? I know you're probably over there taking notes.
Well, that's where I was just wondering with that book if you've ever seen his paintings, you know.
I have never seen the Bob Dylan paintings before.
Well, I can imagine, just by guessing, they're a little crazy, a little wild.
They're not too bad.
No. What would you say his style is? Not that I know what that
I
means.
think actually his drawings are more realism.
Okay.
Meaning realistic?
Yep.
Oh, it's because realism is kind of the same as realistic. So do you have any of his art, or basically out of the book, or do you have
It's
any?
out of the book. It's
Okay.
just, you know, an artist, they just get creative, so they, you know, multiple talents other than music, writing. And,
Okay. So you know Bob Dylan a lot more than I do.
I was a fan of his for a while. I actually got grade that got reduced in high school because I covered Bob Dylan, and the teacher's husband liked Bob Dylan, but she hated him. If I covered Wayne Gretzky, it would have gotten an A.
There you go. See?
Well, there was a
Older audience in a way.
There was a teacher by the name of Mr. Nordby. I don't know if you ever remember
I
that.
know the name.
He was a 10th grade English teacher.
Okay.
And he was a little radical, a little out of the box teacher.
Sure.
So I learned right away when you wrote an essay or wrote whatever we did, what do they call them, stories,
Yeah.
that you kind of want to go out of the box.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Okay.
didn't want to write about sports because you, like Paul just said, you probably aren't, he's not going to grade you.
Right.
I remember, I'm not going to tell you what I wrote about because I really didn't know anything about it. I was a little, good boy kid, but I knew if I wrote about this subject that I would get a good grade, and I did. I got an A. So there's some proof to that.
Yep.
There is. You got to know your teacher.
Know your audience.
There's something you can. Some people are learning things today.
That's right.
Just like math too. I mean, if you want to get on Ringer's good side, just bring him an apple a day and a chocolate bar, and
Put your equal signs in the front
Put
when
your
you're,
equal
when you're
signs.
simplifying expressions, and I'll be very, very happy.
exactly. One of the
Anything
best.
else, Paul?
Well, have you guys gotten into, now it's kind of the time for some your mushroom picking, your foraging.
Well, I've seen some mushrooms out and about when I've been walking around town. I would assume that those are not of the edible type, though. My guess.
I think you've got to know what you're doing with them, but
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of people around here, this is the season that they start collecting them.
Yeah, I'd hate to start running around the forest out at Brucey Sandbeck's shack and just start pumping mushrooms into my mouth and start hallucinating.
Those are different kinds of
But yeah, it's no. I'm not a. I love mushrooms. You know, there's. I've actually had just mushrooms on the grill, and they're absolutely great. So
I have to share. We had steak on Saturday night. I cooked up some mushrooms on the stove, onions, butter, the whole 9 yards, went the whole way. And of course, I've got Eli, 2.5, and he wanted one. Well, you can just about imagine, 2.5 years old, he popped that whole thing in his mouth and his face scrunched up and his eyes got about this big and he swallowed it whole. I was like, whoa! And it was a good sized mushroom. I don't think he'll ever eat another mushroom.
So he learned how to...
No more mushrooms, right, Eli?
He learned how to eat oysters.
That's exactly what we said. It looked like he was eating an oyster right down the gullet.
He's only 2.5.
He'll be 3.
So I seen him, 7-9 months ago. The kid acts like he's like 4. 5.
A lot of people say he's 4 or going to be 4. He's only going to be 3.
He's a smart kid.
He's something else.
Must have got that from mommy.
Must have got that from mom. God bless him.
What else? What do you think over?
If the Twins make the playoffs,
Yep.
how far are they going to go?
Well, if they play the Yankees, I think they're going to beat. I think they're going to beat the Yankees.
Really? You do?
I think we got a better.
Wow.
If Santana has his good stuff, I think we got a better one-day pitcher than they do. CC Sabathia, in my mind, is not a bad hitter, a bad pitcher, but he's not a great pitcher. So we don't have to worry about them throwing who's the kid from Kluber from Cleveland? Okay, he'll go out and stop you right now. Or, Sale or one of those pitchers. So Sabathia is very hittable. I like the Twins if they do get in the playoffs to move on to a round.
And I was going to say, if they get the Yankees, I'll go just the opposite. If they get the Yankees, they're done for. There was the mental block from the 20-0s, 8, 6, 7s, whenever. I mean, we just couldn't get by them, and there's just.
Why all this hatred towards Minnesota sports? Shame on you. You got to be more like Boly here. Any other questions? Anything?
So if they get to play the Yankees and they lose, will you wear a Yankees shirt?
Me?
Good question.
I really wouldn't want to, but.
Will you? That's the question. Will you wear?
If you can find one big enough for me, sure, I'll put it on for the show.
We can do a body paint too.
No, we don't want to see that.
But, great question.
Yes.
Well, no offense, but a little better than the mushroom one. We kind of.
That went way out.
Keep you on your toes.
I know, that's what you do every time. It's kind of funny you say that because when you get ready to ask a question, I go, holy, I don't know what he's going to ask. So I got to prepare for anything.
So I don't know if you covered Timberwolves today.
We did not.
A little bit late. So how do you think how many wins they're going to have?
Well, according to Thibodeau, is that how you say it?
Thibodeau. Yep.
We're going to be in the 45 to 50 win, and we should be.
I'm going to go 46 if everything sails into the season the right way. 46.
Yeah, we bought
46 and 36.
They bought a team. Now they got to gel, and if they don't gel, they got a lot of talent.
Should they picked up Kyrie Irving?
No.
No.
Yeah, then it wouldn't have made sense to trade for Teague. So who's going to be the whole key to this? Teague is going to be the key to this team.
Yeah.
We know Butler's going to be good. We know Towns is going to be good. Wiggins is going to be good. Teague needs to be better than Rubio.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what it's going to come down to.
Yep.
And there's only one ball in basketball, right?
Last we looked.
No, only one puck in hockey, only one ball in football, only one ball in baseball.
That's right.
See what you're learning tonight?
I'm learning all kinds of things.
We all know that there's only one ball in all the 4 major sports. Well, do you know why I watch soccer? No, you know why I play soccer? So I don't have to watch it. All right, we're done.
We gotta go. Thanks.